workshops and policy dialogues in recent time. One, improving the framework conditions to unlock the potential of the African Continental Free Trade Area by CUTS International Accra, November 2021. Needs assessment and AFCFTA readiness workshops for women entrepreneurs in Accra, Kumasi, Cape Coast, Takoradi, Tapan, Tamale, Kofobia, GIZ, GNCCI 2022. Speaker or panelist, GNCC/DIZ Women Conference on Private Sector Contributions to the Negotiations of the African Continental Free Trade Area Protocol on Women and Youth, Accra, Kumasi, and Tamale, November 2023, January 2024. Please give it up for Madam Grace. Thank you so much. Madam Antoinette Quayson. Antoinette Quayson serves as the Principal Export Development Officer at the Ghana Export Promotion Authority. She is also the coordinator and focal point of contact for the She Trades Ghana Hub. Additionally, she is a trainer and coordinator at the Ghana Export School under the same institution. Madam Antoinette Quayson, please give it up for her. Madam Adelaide Nyameche Ado. Forgive me, Madam Nyameche Ado, if you would please respectfully introduce yourself properly to us.
Like Mrs. said, my name is Adelaide Nyameche Ado. I'm with the Ghana Shippers Authority. I'm with the Shipper Services and Trade Facilitation Unit. I hold a first degree in Development Management, MBA in Total Quality Management, and currently a law student.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you so much for that short and succinct introduction. If my panelists are ready for me, I am ready for them. Panelists, are you please ready for me? Will you please have water by you? I want to make sure you are well nourished. You have some water going through your throat, and you are not thirsty in the middle of our conversation. Forgive us for the scanty crowd you're seeing here. They'll be filling up. I'm sure a few of them have gone out. But then we'll continue. My first question goes to, since it's a ladies first business, forever and ever will be ladies first, even though you're the only gentleman, so forgive me. I'm going to start with Madam Ado. Tell us a bit about yourself and your organization. You have done that, but please tell us a bit about it. What do you do? How do you contribute to Mother Ghana?
Okay, so the Shippers Authority was established in 1974 under the NRCD. We have moved on from there. At the time, it was a council, National Shippers Council. Now we are an authority, and our new mandate per Act 1122, which came into being in 2024, July precisely, gives us the mandate to regulate the commercial shipping activities of shippers and shipping service providers in the distribution, in the delivery, and the transportation of international trade cargo across all modes of shipment. Our focus here is to make sure that there's a plain level field for everybody in the shipment process. Anybody who does some form of trade across our borders should be able to have something to plan with, should be able to have some sense of predictability, should be able to have some sense of cost management in the business that they do, because whatever is done at our ports, whether it is low or high, inadvertently affects the community. Everybody goes to the market, so whatever happens there has a direct impact on what we buy and what comes to us. So that is what we do. And we are very, very interested in trade amongst women and their youth. And for that reason, we also have a desk at the head office here for women alone to handle complaints, to handle issues concerning women. We've had a lot of programs which are women-centered. Last year, we were in a flower, or a plow, how sometimes they call it, where we join women in cross-border trade in some of their activities, and it's just one of those. This year we've had a couple also, and there are some also upcoming in our next year budget. And so it's an opportunity again here today for us to be able to join forces, not with just Madam's program, but with all other agencies that also have women in trade at heart. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Still holding the microphone. Still holding the microphone. I'd like to pitch this to you. What is your role in empowering women and the youth, and how does it help build the Africa we all hope to live in? What is your role in empowering women and the youth, and how does it help, in your view, to build the Africa we all hope to live in?
Okay. So our role in making sure that our women and youth are well empowered in the trade that they find themselves in is one, to make sure that they are well equipped with the requisite information they need in the business that they do. We realize that with lack of information or lack of right information, certain mistakes always come about. And these mistakes, in shipping or in trade, it's hinged on time, it's hinged on cost. And so if you don't have the right information, you will not be able to plan your business properly. You will not be able to generate the income which will help your business grow. So what we do is that we try to do a lot of outreach, we do a lot of sensitization and education, we do a lot of publications, we have what we call our e-platform, where immediately issues are received, somebody is on it 24/7 trying to resolve issues for anybody, not even just women and youth, but anybody at all. We also have our toll-free numbers all around. We also have our working units. We also have our shipper support units along all our borders. We have one in Akanu, we have Aplawo, we have Amle, and all the others. All these are avenues we are putting together to be able to help everybody, and women and youth in particular, to be able to canvass for information that they need to make their businesses thrive. That is what we do.
Thank you so much, Madam Nyameta Ado. Before we continue, I'd like to let all of you be aware that we're streaming live on all our main social media handles, as well as globally on other platforms as well. So it may look like the room isn't very full, but then our time is being valued elsewhere. Okay, so just so everybody else knows, we're being watched live across all social media network. To our next panelist, thank you very much, Madam Ado. Thank you so much. What is the challenge you hope your industry will solve in the next few years to improve in the empowerment of women and youth? What is the challenge you hope your industry will solve in the next few years to improve in the empowerment of women and youth? Am I clear?
Yeah,
yes.
you are. Thank you very much. So I will speak in the perspective of GEPA and from where I sit with sheep trade. So with GEPA, we encourage the women, or we help them access markets, international markets. We allow them to come register with us. Once you are registered with Registrar General. And so being part of us, you also have to attend our expo school. And once you attend our expo school, we give you knowledge or capacity building in all areas of accessing international markets and understanding the negotiations to have contracts with other buyers. And we cannot do that without our stakeholders. We work with Shippers Authority, we work with Standards, we work with GNCC, Food and Drugs Authority. And so all of us come as collaborators to help these exporters be able to access these markets. Most of our clients are women, and so from She Trade's point of view, empowering these women to be able to access more bigger markets is what ITC initiative seeks to do. And we support them to attend most of these trade fairs or trade missions where they come in contact with buyers. We look for buyers for them, suppliers for them, and then they are able to connect and then be able to have more understanding of different markets where they can sell. And while they do that, they open or they expand their horizon in gaining more access to other markets, and as well as creating more jobs for the women that they employ. As women, we also encourage them to employ more women and the youth. And in our case, currently we are looking at the youth gaining more access into trade. And so that's where we look at from my perspective. For GEPA, most of the things that we do are in the area of non-traditional exports. And so most of the made in Ghana products is what we look at in terms of agribusiness, especially with what Madam Judith is looking at. And in agribusiness, in cosmetics, and then fashion area. And so we promote them to be able to gain access, and then we support them to have these chances of trade missions in order to expand their businesses.
Thank you so much. This is very insightful. Please give it up for our first two speakers. We'll still stay with you. We're not done. We'll still stay with you. We're not done yet. Thank you so much for that. So, from a human capital point of view, I'm an HR executive. That's what I do as a corporate person. So from a human capital point of view, how do you think today's talent pipeline feeds directly into your ability to turn things around and create jobs for the economy? Do you think you have the requisite talent pipeline available to feed into the programs you keep turning on? Because I ask this because as somebody in the industry close to 15 years, I would want to agree that if the opportunities are prevalent or available and you don't have the requisite talent pipeline to feed into those roles, to turn those roles around such that it benefits people into translating to jobs, it's almost like still marking time and not going anywhere. Because one of the things I reckon we face as a country is the fact that we have more graduates than we have people that are employable. Being a graduate doesn't equate or doesn't equal being employable. And that's what a lot of our people, misconstrue. So we may have I call them the MMMs, the MBAs, the MLMs, what have you. And then when you get to the crunch of the matter, you go sit before an interviewing panel and you're stuttering, literally. They can't put two words together to make a sentence. Okay, so how does that kind of challenge affect what you do, within the industry you're in? Do you please get it?
Okay, so what we do at GEPA is for the women, when we do our export school, what we do is that probably a category of women need a particular kind of training. We make it for them.
That is targeted training?
Yes. Yes, we may have programmed activities or exposed to program content, but then when we have a category of people in a particular area, let's say they need, in terms of e-commerce, we tailor-made this training for them, looking at their needs, looking at what they want to look out for. So we have the facilitators available. We look into the content with which they want or they need this kind of training to be able to meet a particular need. That is what we do for them. And with the she trades as well. Most of the programs are such that it encourages the youth to mix or to come to be abreast with the current needs of the job market. And that is what we do for them. When you register as a she trade member, you also have the chance of accessing the ITC Trade Academy. It's a virtual training on which we have a lot of programs that suits current entrepreneurs, and they have the chance of participating in a lot of these trainings, which are virtual. It helps them to acclimatize themselves with the current needs on the job market. Yes.
Okay. I think you've spoken very succinctly to my point. Thank you so much. Madam Deble. The evergreen Madam Deble. Thank you so much for your patience and time. This goes to you. What role will sustainability, which invariably has become a buzzword now in the very usual role that is prevalent in most organizations now, ESG, because we realize that on LinkedIn in the last year or so, you're seeing increasingly ESG roles coming up. ESG for this, ESG for this, ESG for that, ESG for this company, ESG for that company. Okay, so riding on the back of that, I'd like to please find out from you, what role will sustainability and ethical considerations play in shaping the industry? What role will okay, my sisters are after me. They shall not flourish in Jesus' name. What role does sustainability and ethical considerations play in shaping the industry? Oh, you're fine.
It's okay.
Merci.
Thank you very much. But before I go on to that, I also want to take this opportunity to congratulate my sister Edith for the bold step in contributing to the efforts to recognize and to support women who in the past have not been given the opportunity to show forth the great initiatives and the talents that women have. I think we have come very far, and I believe that if we continue this way, someone said the sky will not even be the limit. Congratulations, Judith, and your team for the efforts. GNCCI is an institution that was established by Parliament to ensure that the private sector thrives, even though it's a membership-based association by virtue of the fact that it was established by Parliament to advocate for the private sector. We work for the entire private sector, whether you are a member or not, and that's the reason why all our capacity building programs, especially those that are tailored towards women, we had been working together with Women in Trade Africa even before today. Going to your question, I believe that times are changing, and especially for women, it is very important that we pay attention to sustainability issues, even as we try to contribute a very big quota to the development of the private sector. When you talk of sustainability, you are talking about what you are doing, the effect of what you are doing, both on yourself, on your business, and the environment within which you operate. And so I will say that for women, one issue that we need to look at in terms of governance when we are doing our business is to ensure that we practice very good corporate governance models. The woman is such that we are quick to want to solve a problem. And so most of the time in our businesses, because the men think ahead and budgets for whatever they are spending on, the woman always wants to cut in where the man thinks that we should wait. And so sometimes it affects our businesses because we make certain expenditure that are not planned for, and so it affects our businesses. We hear women who say that, okay, maybe you gave me some money to invest in business, but at the end of the day, I've spent it on the family, and so it's affecting. It's not because they want us to, but because of our nature, we want to solve the problem anyhow before we find out how even best we do it. And so good corporate governance in terms of, even if you are the sole proprietor, or the business belongs to you alone, you still need to have some kind of checks in terms of your financial discipline. To be sustainable, you also want to find out what you are doing in the next few years. Would people want it that way? Let's take, for instance, now people are very much health conscious. So if you are doing something that has too many aspects that people would not want, you want to ensure that to remain sustainable, to remain in business, you factor into your business things that people will want to have, or your market will want to, there will be demand for, even beyond your foreseeable future. So you look at the market you're serving and the demand within each time, so that you are not pushed out of the market. We are talking about sustainability, the effect when you talk of the environment, the people we work with, the environment, the places we are engaging, the positive impact we bring on that environment in terms of, even for those of us who are into the production, I mean the way we take care of the disposal of our waste, the effect of that in the environment, those of us who do things that have effect on the environment, how we are replenishing what we take from the environment. All these things go to ensure sustainability of the business. And because we are very multitasking, sometimes some of these things elude us and they negatively impact on our businesses. But I am glad that we have been engaging women entrepreneurs. I really respect them. And when I'm talking about our women, I want to stand up, and shall we just clap for our women entrepreneurs. I mean, I will not go ahead of ourselves, but we know the challenges, the real challenge, family demands and societal demands, and yet our women are pushing. And when you go out there, you see the beautiful things, the innovations our women are coming up with. We want our women to be sustainable, resilient, and therefore, when you talk of the ESG, we also have to look at some of these things, the environment, our governance, and the way we do our things, so that we will also grow. We have women who have enterprises that grow from micro to medium to large scale businesses. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is a whole master class. Thank you so much. Thanks so much for that. If you may want to take the second question as well, I'll be grateful. Okay. How can professionals stay ahead in an industry that is constantly changing? Since we say change is the only constant process, how can professionals stay ahead in an industry that is constantly changing?
Anyway, without any specific industry, what we have just spoken about, making sure that we take into consideration what we have just talked about, the ESG things, are very important to ensure that we remain in business. For women, we need a lot of capacity. We need a lot of capacity, practical capacity. We are very busy, so I always say that in the capacity programs we have for women, it has to be straight to the point and very practical. Continuous training is very important. There's a challenge when you are having training and you go to some places, if you don't give money, at the end of the training, they feel you haven't done much. But I always say that elsewhere in the West, people pay huge sums of hard currency to access information. We are in information age. And so every opportunity as a woman to get information, please let us grab it. If we want to remain in business, if we want to be sustainable and resilient, stand the test of time, we must always be looking for information. When you have information, some of us don't really need money. If we get the right information and we practicalize the information, we can even grow organically. I mean, you can plow back. So we will plead that our women, even though we are always on the move, when we have workshops, if you are not careful, by the time you are closed, the women, they need to get home early and make some provision for family. We need to pick our kids from school and all that, and sometimes we miss out on some of these things. I would still encourage us that we should hold information very, very close to our hearts. For institutions, stakeholders, the chamber and other government institutions, we also have to continue to help our women in continuous research, get information for market research for our women. And I'm happy that all of us agree that for our businesses in all the sectors, not one particular sector, to continue to be in business, we need to have the market. And I'm very glad that Ghana is leading in promoting the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. You just cannot be in business if there's no market. Even if it's an NGO, you need people who will demand for your services. And so, as we hope that the whole Africa will walk the talk of AFCFTA, we will continue to do our best to build the capacity, help our women to prepare so that they can remain in the space of business. Forgive me, I'm some cold. So when it comes to women, on their part they are trying, but I will still call on policy makers to make provision for women, help our women in accessing markets. The chamber has signed an agreement with TMA, Trademark Africa, to embark on series of training and market access programs, as was indicated by my co-speakers. We collaborate to look for markets for businesses. But I want to plead that for our businesses, our women to continue to be in business, they need a lot of support to access these markets. It takes a lot to even remain and produce. And so I will plead on behalf of our women, GEPA and other government institutions, that we deliberately continue to look for markets for our women and also continue to support them. I know we are all trying. We will need to continue to help our mothers and our sisters, and not even them alone, the youth, to access the market. I always say that Ghana's products within even the entire Africa, it's respected. We are known for quality in terms of our sub-region, not only the sub-region alone, even with Africa. We are not only leading politically, but even in terms of education, in terms of health, though we don't really see what we have. When you go outside Africa, we hear what other African countries are saying about us. For some people, even Ghana, coming to school in Ghana is as good as going to even the West to school. And these are all the areas we can help our women to explore. AFCNTA, we have trade in food. We've talked about this for a long time. Trade in service for the coming years is coming. Our women who are into all forms of professional services, also please be ready. We are going to embark on training, especially on trading services, for us to be able to take advantage and remain in business. So we want to plead, it's a collaborative effort. As the government does it, we want more. We'll continue to do our best as women entrepreneurs who are passionate about what we are doing and not just for money. And we will continue to help for businesses to remain resilient and overcome the challenges that come our way. And if I may add a little to the issue of the question you posed on the availability of jobs for the people who are coming, and even for what we are doing, whether there are people to do that. For GNCCI, we have inaugurated our junior chambers. Our focus is that for our youth who are coming from the tertiary institution, we want to empower them, want to help them so that by the time they get out, they are not coming to look for jobs, but they are already self-employed. And there's a new wave in our youth in the tertiary institution. Someone is somehow doing one thing or the other with the use of the internet. And so what we want to do is to encourage them and build their entrepreneurial skills so that once they come out, they can actually scale up whatever they are doing. I came with my lady, she finished university, but she's been working on her own. She has her own online business, and we want to help the youth to be able to be self-employed, even if they have any employment, something to supplement to ease the burden of unemployment in the system.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. This is enriching. This is a good one there. We appreciate the feedback. To Mr. Alan Quaid, what is your vision for growth? Event management and advocating for local businesses. I don't know if this is what you.
Yes, it is.
Pretty briefly,
Hello.
we don't take a lot of time.
So I'll take it from the banking perspective, because that is where my knowledge and strength is. Of course, in today's world, the youth and women constitute, especially in Africa, a good chunk. 60% of children, or 60% of the population, is less than 20. And then, of course, women constitute about half the population. So as a bank, we are very much interested in the youth and very much interested in women, because if we can tackle, and indeed it can be tackled, once we are able to give them economic empowerment, we give them financial literacy, we give them capacity building, make available to them products such as micro loans, savings plans, they will be empowered to be able to generate or make Africa that we all do deserve. So yes, when it comes to growth as a bank, we are very much interested in partnering with the communities that we are in, and of course, the businesses thereof within the community. That is one way by which, as far as the growth is concerned, we can see to that. When it comes to event management, we are very much purposeful and intentional that we need to go out there and provide sound financial advisory services. We must provide the financial literacy as well. We must do the capacity building that will enable the ladies and the women and the youth be well informed to be able to take the desired decisions that would enable them to become the entrepreneurs, become the innovators, and be the driving force behind Africa. We all know, as we often say, as far as you educate a woman or you empower a woman, you are more or less empower the nation for that matter. So then it will come with jobs, it will come with innovation, and it will lead to stability of forms, and of course, the country as a whole will improve. Now, we also very much believe in inclusivity and digital transformation. So as banks, we should be well prepared to be able to devise policies and regulations that will drive inclusivity as far as the youth and women are concerned. And we should not just be a talking point, it's not a talk shop. It should be one backed by products, it should be one backed by relevant pricing. It must recognize the needs of women, and of course must go out there and get the women empowered to be able to deliver what it has to be. Last but not the least, from the banking perspective, we should be catalysts. Of course, we often say that banks run after where they smell money. Okay? So today, women and youth may not have the economic empowerment. But if you start with them from the beginning, not only will you go with them, but as they go, the banks will also have a much more fulfilling relationship with the youth and the women. And we should be able to do that, of course, in close collaboration with fintechs. Today's banks are working closely with fintechs to be able to reach out to include them. Today, you can do your banking over your phone. You can do it over your young phone for that matter. And that brings inclusivity into it. Today, many bank accounts have been linked to Momo accounts, which means that irrespective of wherever you are, you can have inclusion as far as banking is concerned. And if you need to access your money or push money into your account and vice versa, you can equally do it. Banks couldn't have done this without fintechs, without collaborating with the fintechs to be able to include women and include the youth of today. So when it comes to growth, event management, and of course advocating, as far as banks are concerned, we are very intentional and purposeful in making this happen because we know that they are the major force in the future. And the earlier we partner with the youth and of course the women, the better it is for banks as well as far as banking is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, briefly. Okay.
Briefly.
Yes.
Anytime I meet the banks, I want to just give a word of appeal. There's research that shows that women are good managers. In fact, those in the insurance industry know that at the end of the year, they share the premiums of women who insure, especially the motor, because we hardly get ourselves involved in accidents that demand claims, huge claims. Women are more, without any offense to men, we are more truthful to our promise of paying back our loans, because when we take the loan and we have to pay, we fear to owe a bank. So when you give us, women, I'm sure he will attest to the fact that for repayment rate, women are higher, even though we get less. I want to plead with you, in getting in all the products you have, please always be deliberate about women. The procedure, the processes, the requirements, the lengthy paperwork and all that. Please summarize it for us. Whatever you give us, we can assure you that you get it back. Give us rates, lower rates, because you know that for collateral issues and all that, we have a bit of a challenge. Please give us rates and help us. When you give it to us, you hold our hands and help us to manage the funds and get it back. Don't bulk us into all the product lines that we get frustrated. I'm head of marketing, but I'm also responsible for the women and youth wing of the GNCCI. And the frustrations our women go through in assessing commercial loans, I mean, it's very, very hectic. Women are doing so well. The risk factor with women is always less. At least we will not go and marry more women. We will not have side chicks.
Okay.
So please, this is a plea on the platform of Women in Trade Africa.
Briefly.
Please help us.
Briefly.
Give us a promise.
Briefly.
So it's a point well made. And indeed, if I'm talking about First Bank has a special focus on women in terms of living products, in terms of accessing credit. They are given a rate which is lower than the commercial rate. Now, if I speak about the regulator in recent times have also asked the banks to have women desks in our branches. They have also gone ahead to say that we should also have desks that will take care of the disabled or those either physically or some sort challenged, so that when they come into the banking space, be it in a branch, whether you are challenged or you're a woman, as long as you're a woman, then you would have access to some specialized advisory services, specialized products, as well as capacity building in that regard. We are, as First Bank, for 130 years, we have supported women business. We have a product for women, for businesses led by women, in addition to having a specialized account for women. Yes, you are right, women are more risk aware. They are more risk conscious, and therefore it is easier to lend to the women and for them to pay back as well. It is not to say that there are no bad nuts among them. There are a few bad nuts among them. But when you do compare it to male-led businesses, they are, I would say, non-performing loans. As far as non-performing loans are concerned, corporates, they are much more in the lower regime. And it's, you see, banks price, when they are pricing, they factor in risk. So the risk for a woman is much more lower. Then we ensure that whatever it is, we price lower for the women-led businesses, and that is what we are doing. I can bet you in the next couple of months or couple of years, most banks will also have that kind of preferential treatment, preferential pricing, preferential advisory service for the women and for the youth who constitute so much of the African population. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam Jedler is helping, and I'm sure she'll cover you after this, they should honor you specially, so that you can get some more, women related attention. Thank you for that. One more question to you, Mr. Koyi. For the sake of time, I would please respectfully ask that our panelists are very succinct and very brief in their delivery, so we don't keep our, confidence overly waiting. What approach or what approaches does your outfit have in the role? What approaches does your outfit have in the role of financial stability of SMEs?
Okay, so for First Bank, as I did intimate earlier, we do have women for products specifically for the women. We call it the First Gen accounts. And then we also have a product for women-led business. Additionally, we're looking at special pricing, a much more lower pricing being availed to women-led businesses as well. We're very much interested in capacity building, and we are very much interested in providing sound financial advice and, of course, financial literacy. We do this for the women through webinars, and of course, events like this that we also come in. We go in there to also support and advise. But to a very large extent, many of our branches are very much in line and in tune with ESG and sustainability, and a focus on women and also on the youth. So that's one of those are some of the things that we do. We also create access to markets. And I can say that for the last 3 years, what First Bank has done is to organize at some of our branches SME fairs, where we ask our lady entrepreneurs and innovators to come to the branch using our parking space to showcase the products and services that they offer. And it's been a good success. Because then customers that come to the branch, prospects who are coming to the branch, and community within which they live, able to access these young female entrepreneurs, access their products and services, and that gives them access to the market. So we've done that for the last 3 years, and we continue to do some more as well. That is not the end of the story. For me, digital transformation is also very key. The businesses must be very much digitally transformed. They must be aware, they must tap into data, they must tap into AI, they must tap into blockchain, they must tap into all kinds of networks, including where to source for raw materials, including who to sell to. Should it be a shop, physical shop, or should it be an online? If they are producing, of course, they need to be environmentally friendly. And they should work very hard to reduce their carbon footprint. Because, of course, we've all seen today the effect of climate change on Ghana and on the world at large. It impacts on SMEs. And as long as they go into green products, I bet you, the world is leaning towards that. Those that get into that space will be the ultimate benefactors in terms of having competitive products, having the market, and dictating where the market should. So for us as a bank, this is how we support our women in business in that regard. Thank you.
We have one last one. You've also given us a good master plan for me. And I'm very grateful for that. The last question to you is very well. What business model does your bank have to improve SME operations? What business model does your bank have to improve SME operations?
Okay, so I'll look at it from 5. I'll just mention the brief so that at least we save some time. The first of which is our tailored financial products, very much for women, very much for SMEs, which includes some microcredits. Of course, most banks are not into microcredit, and now are able to do that beautifully by collaborating with fintechs. And so we have a product we call Uzi, very much for SMEs. with preferential prices for women-led businesses. So these are microloans. Microloans are not what banks would usually do. By collaborating with fintechs, we are now able to do that. And of course, as far as working capital is concerned, if it's for commercial purposes, there are all kinds of credit products that one could have. If it's an invoice discounting where you have done some work for a contractor and you want to invoice, you want to discount the invoice before you receive payment, so at least you have some cash to work, that's fine. If you need working capital, you can make it available. If you have an LPO and you want us to help you finance, give you capital to be able to execute, all of that is available. The other thing is also the digital banking ecosystem. Today we recognize that banking is not limited to brick and mortar. So our channels are available, our cards are available, our POSs are available, and of course our strong relationship with the mobile also drives our business. Why? Because now payments are largely being done through mobile. The payments are largely being done through POS because of course you don't want to keep cash on premises. A lot more are using their cards to pay, and so POS becomes even more essential than before. So yes, we would encourage the businesses to have these digital channels because it drives your payments, it drives receivables, and at the same time, it minimizes or reduces the risk of theft. I'll talk about advisory and capacity building, and that is the role of banks. We should continue to do that. We must, as my sister did say, work with them, handhold them, and take them through the process. They will start as micro, become small, become medium, and eventually become big businesses. If we want to reap from the relationship that we have built with businesses, we must start with them whilst they're small. It is not when they are big that we now come begging and say, let's have a bit of your business, try us and let us see. We must start early with them, handhold them, take them through all the challenges together, and then they can say, First Bank is indeed your partner. Last but not the least is, of course, networking. We create platforms. When we do our webinars like this, we are creating a platform for women to be able to connect to each other. As she says she wants to take my number. She may lead me to a forum of women who I can support, or a forum of women who can support each other in their business drive, and we do that. When it comes to market access, the same through our webinars, through our symposiums and things like that. So as far as banks are concerned, this is how we work with SMEs. We work with women, we work with the youth to be able to meet their goals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Give it up for our panel so far, our panelists. I believe we've all been taking notes. It's my considered opinion that we've been listening and not just hearing. I know fatigue is settling in. I know a lot of us will be willing to leave at this moment, but then we're just close to the finish line, ladies and gentlemen. And so, please crave your indulgence. Permit me to just throw two more questions to them. We will have a wrap, we'll give our vote of thanks, and then we may just around that time call it, a good event. So, to you, Madam Ado, on the far left, where I stand, please take this. What is your understanding of sustainable fashion, and how should the SME owner incorporate it? What is your understanding of sustainable fashion, and how should the SME owner incorporate it?
So, sustainable fashion and how the SME owner should incorporate it.
Yes.
So, from GS's point of view, we are talking about sustainability in your business. We are hinged on cost, like I mentioned earlier. We are hinged on time and reliability. That when you go through your trading, wherever you are moving your goods from point A to point B, you should be able to be reliable such that the goods will arrive in the state in which you shipped it. We are also concerned about the cost in the sense that you are not paying any arbitrary charges. Currently, if you've been listening to what's happening, GSA is trying to regulate our SSPs, our shipping service providers, that now they need to submit their charges to us for approval, because we realized that there were certain arbitrary charges, there were issues of rates, FX rates, and so we've had engagement with BOG, and BNG has put out a publication that SSPs are not supposed to apply any charge other than their commercial bank rates. And so when you're engaging any shipping service provider, to be able to make sure that you are within your cost range, please know the rates being applied in their commercial bank. They are supposed to publish this in their outfit for you to know that, okay, for me, I deal with Zenith Bank, or I deal with FBN, or I deal with First Atlantic Bank. You should just go online, or even call the bank and find out their selling rates. If you know this and they issue you an invoice, and the invoice has a rate above what is published in the bank or what you were told, then you know that quickly you need to call GSA for us to come in. We are also concerned about time, that you should be able to sustain your business through time factor, such that if you know that if I move my cargo from Aflao to Akanyu, it should take me 2 hours, 3 hours. You plan with it and you are able to deliver to your other partner at the other side. And we want to encourage, like I mentioned earlier, our support officers at the various ports. If you get there and you are having issues with your cost, you're having issues with your reliability, you're having issues with your time, please just go in there and get the person there. That person would assist you. We know that sometimes language becomes a barrier, and so it affects your time, it affects your reliability. We make sure that our colleagues that are there are people who understand the language around, so that they're able to help our women in trading.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this. Please stand up. And this is the very last one. This is question. What can SMEs take home with them? Or, to personalize it, what can we SMEs take home with us? In a nutshell, any of us.
Thank you. From where I'm sitting, I will encourage most of our women to take advantage of registering with the She Trades platform. It is free. We don't charge. When you register with the She Trades, you get the opportunity of being supported. However, you have to be in trade from 5 years and above. You must also be registered with GEPA. That means you have all your licenses with all our stakeholders. They also offer capacity building training programs that support our women. When you also register with GEPA, you have the chance to attend our expo school, either tailor-made or our general training program, which offers you a lot of understanding on the trade markets. And we have the website, which also gives you or offers you the tools for understanding our trade markets and how you can access what kind of products goes to which countries and which markets that you can access to sell your product, as well as the kind of training that ITC also offers and opening markets for these women. You have the chance of having the virtual training for the SME Academy, which has a variety of training programs for our women, and it is all for free. You do not pay for these webinars or these online virtual training programs. And so I would encourage most of our women, or all our women who are in trade or in businesses, the entrepreneurs, especially the younger ones, to take advantage of this opportunity. When you go to our website, on the GEPA website, the She Trades webpage is there, and you can register. My telephone number is there, my email address is there, and you can contact me personally, and then I can take you through. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And that brings this amazing thought-sharing session of today's event to a close. I'd like to personally, and on behalf of the convener, thank Ethan. Would like to add something?
Yes, please.
Okay, very brief.
So, for me, I'm a service-oriented person. I have done service quality for more than 15 years in a bank before I joined GSC. What I'm really passionate about is all that we have learned today. It is a whole PhD, like Mr. MC said. We have learned a lot. But if we don't add the soft skills, then we haven't done anything. Anytime when you join a bank, one of the first trainings you are given is on how to retain customers. So it means service quality is so important. It cuts across everything that we do. I know that we, the owners of the businesses, are here. We are very passionate. But are we able to transfer that passion to our staff, to our team? Do they also see that they own the business? Do they also see that the success of the business has a direct correlation on their being and their future as well? We need to take our service quality very important. Let's appreciate feedback when we are giving the feedback, and let's run with it. That is what will let us know that, okay, we are doing something right. We are retaining customers. That retained customer would become your person who will be advertising for you freely. You are not paying that person. You may not even know, but that person may be drawing others to you. Because as we go about, we are seeing different things. Our tastes are changing. Our expectations keep changing. We see so many things. But what will make me speak to you? Or what will make me not run away from you? You, the madam, may not be an issue, but probably that employee that was put at the shop, that employee that picked up the phone when I called to inquire about somebody or something, that employee that was not able to even listen when I was given a complaint. In all of this, I know that we can do some trade-offs. We can learn from each other. We may not necessarily need to reinvent the wheel. If we have other colleagues who may be good in certain areas, we can tap some information from them so that we can fine-tune us and fine-tune our staff. And for us, that's what we do at JSC. Our complaint support unit is so critical for us. So there is a separate unit that will even call back on the resolved complaints to be sure that really your issues were resolved. And I think that it will be very good if you can employ something like that in your business so that we can go out of Ghana, out of Africa, into the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was indeed an important add-on. Madam Judith, if you are available, would please want you to give us the vote of thanks. Madam Judith Eula Mensah. Is she in this post?
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and fellow participants, as we come to the end of this wonderful program, I would like to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to the organizers, sponsors, and everyone who has contributed to making this event success.
tirelessly to make this program a reality. I simply thank you. Your dedication, hard work, and commitment to empowering women in trade are truly inspiring. You have created a platform for us to come together, share experiences, and learn from each other. I would also like to thank our speakers and panelists for sharing their expertise and insights with us. Your contributions have added immense value to this program, and we are grateful for your time and effort. To our sponsors, I express my sincere gratitude for your support. Your generosity has enabled us to host this event and provide opportunities for women in trade to connect and grow. To all participants, I thank you for being part of this program. Your presence has made this event truly special, and we hope that you have gained valuable insights and connections. As we conclude this program, I would like to leave you with a sense of hope and inspiration. Let us continue to support and empower each other and work together to create a more inclusive and equitable trade environment for all. Thank you once again, and may God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Manya. You can do it better for her, please. Thank you so much. I know our enemies are down. Have we all please received our lunch packs? Have we please received our lunch packs? We haven't. Okay, there are lunch packs to your far right. Right behind you, where the door has been, partially opened. You can pick up your lunch packs over there, please. So, at this juncture, I would like to thank each and every one of you, sincerely and most profoundly, for making time today to be here with us for the inauguration of the Ladies in Trade Africa, which we've just successfully, talked about and dealt with. Hopefully, it is our wish and our considered opinion that the talk wouldn't only end here, but would move ahead of ourselves so that at the end of the day, not only would we make the women the center of our universe, not only in our homes, but in our enterprises and whatever it is we do for a better Ghana, but go a long way to propagate the gospel. So I personally, as the MC, have learned a heck of a lot, and I would want to believe that you all have individually and collectively picked up a lesson or two that you would use in advancing the various things you're doing in your little corners for Mother Ghana. On my own personal behalf, once again, our dear panelists, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to you. Some of you saw me moving about like a headless chicken, trying to make sure that things were, in order. And hopefully, for every good event, you may get a few hiccups here and there. But then ultimately, we say it's all glory to God for a successful event. Madam Jembe, thank you so much. And I'm thanking her most especially as well as Madam Quayson, because they were here pretty early, as well as Mr. Allen. But he was here actually before both of them. And he was patiently waiting at the foyer. I didn't actually know he was part of the panelists actually, until I was beckoned to go and call him. So thank you most profoundly for your time on a Monday, let me emphasize. And so give credit to whom credit is due. Thank you. And thank you all. So right after here, we'll move out, have feed your eyes. Okay? The fact is say feed your eyes, and don't only feed your eyes, but pick a thing or two, and go with it to your homes or whatever it is you're leaving from here. I have been your moderator, Ahmed Habib Ibrahim, managing consultant of IXL Boulevard. We handle everything from corporate and private events. We do French tutoring and French translation. We do speech writing. We also do boutique HR. We render boutique HR services of performance management, recruitment, general and executive, as well as every other thing within the HR space that largely hinged on these very ones that I've mentioned. I've been your moderator. I've really thoroughly and humbly enjoyed being your moderator. And I say until we meet next time, bonjour and have a good afternoon. Thank you.